Well, John, we just had a chance to talk about the 3A girls, and now we're going to go down the Fab Five for the 3A boys, and it's almost the same scenario. There are so many talented runners in 3A on the boys' side. How do you see it playing out, and what's the difference?
It's tight. I mean, I've left some guys off this list that probably could be in there. I think I had him in there at the beginning of the year, but let's go with my number 5. Well, let me just tell you a couple of guys that aren't in there are Quincy O'Connor, Thomas Howe, Andrew Iglesias, who we just heard recently about is real good. But my top 5, I've got number 5, Aaron Rojas out of Estero. And he's been around a long time. He's finally a senior, run a 15:31 at Florida Runners. Number 4, this kid's come a long ways over the years. Mac Reynolds ran a 15:22, and that's smoking fast. That's got to be a PR by a lot. He ran that pre-state meet. Number 3, and coming on, he started off slow this year, but he was my one of my top runners at the beginning of the year. Max Del Monte out of Chamberlain. He ran a 15:19. I expect to see Max right there at the state meet, but I've got him number 3 right now. Number 2 is kind of my surprise pick right now. He hasn't had a lot of big-time racing, but came on strong at the pre-state meet. Carlos Miranda out of Palmetto Ridge, 15:17. Came in 3rd in that race, and that was a great race. The top 2 were the 2 top runners in the state, in my opinion, or 2 of the top 3 runners. So I've got Carlos Miranda as my number 2, and my number 1 runner, of course, everybody probably knows, Elliot Clemente, who could arguably be the number 1 runner in the state and one of the best in the country. He's a Foot Locker finalist and done it all. I don't have to go into any explanation about Elliot. But so I've got Clemente, Miranda, Del Monte, Mac Reynolds, and Aaron Rojas is my number 5.
Very interesting, because if you take a look at your number 2 and your number 3, when I think about those runners, I think of them as great milers. We saw Miranda go 4:18 last year, and now he's finally had a good summer of training behind him, went up to the FSU camp, and has got some big races. He was on the biggest stage so far of his life, I think, at pre-state, and really performed well, and there's no reason why he's not going to keep getting better. So it presents an interesting scenario if both Max Del Monte, Miranda, and some of the other guys can keep it close with Elliott and really use some of that miler speed towards the end. We could see quite the battle up the Green Monster.
I agree.
All righty, we'll keep rolling along. Thanks, John. Good Fab 5 for the boys in 3A. We'll be right back.